EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique, is tapping on the endpoint of acupuncture meridians while we are experiencing something unpleasant, like a problem or uncomfortable feeling, or something unpleasant like a sensation which is bothering us, but we are trying to suppress it because we are too busy with living our life. The key here is to pay attention to it for a bit, focus on it, otherwise we wouldn't get rid of the problem. My idea is to demonstrate EFT. I'll show you the basic recipe, while at the same time we'll try it on cravings to see the effect of EFT for people who would like to lose weight or get rid of some craving, like giving up cigarettes, and as we do the demonstration. The basic recipe includes tapping on the meridian endpoints while tuning into the unpleasant feeling as we are doing the tapping, in order to get rid of the uncomfortable feeling. We start with tapping on the side of the hand, as if we are going to do a karate chop while stating the problem. Because we are now going to get rid of chocolate cravings, we'll be tuning into how much we want to eat chocolate. So I'm inviting you to take a piece of chocolate. Here there is dark chocolate and there is milk chocolate. Take a little bite of it. Oh, I love it. It's so delicious. It's always so delicious, and what a nice calming sensation. It takes me back to childhood time when I was able to eat all the chocolates from a sealed box, even although I crave this chocolate. From 0 to 10, I crave it 11. It's such a delicious, such a blissful sensation. No way I'm going to give up this bliss. I must be crazy to give it up. However, I choose to accept myself anyway. Even though I have all these lovely sensations from chocolate, I am ready to accept myself anyway. Now we start tapping through all the points from the top of the head, at the beginning of the eyebrow. We can do it with one hand, with two hands. As we say, I so much crave this chocolate. On the next point, on the side of the eyes, I'm so craving this chocolate. Under the eye, under the nose, on the chin, on the collarbone, with open hand. And after that, under the arm, about 10 centimeters below the armpit. Now, take a breath. Take the chocolate and smell it. Oh, it's so tasty. What is the intensity? It was 11, is it still 11? No, it's significantly lower. It's 9. I now remember some of my other addictions. I want to eat it all the time. I want to eat chocolate day and night. I constantly want to eat chocolate, even during the night. Let's go back to the chocolate. Do you still want to eat? Now it smells of tea. But how much do you want to eat it? About a 5. So, do you want to go further down, or would you like to move forward? Okay, let's move forward. I got the idea how tapping works. Anie, here this is a software which shows what happens to your body while you're experiencing an unpleasant emotion. The picture at the beginning, when you're talking about your stress, about your problem, is in black and white, and it starts getting colors when your stress lowers down through the biofeedback from the sensor on your ear. It measures your pulse and the heart rate variability. Your heart rate variability reflects the state of your vegetative nervous system, our animal nervous system, yes, the one which is most responsive to your emotional state, but least responsive to medication. So now let's tune into your problems. You were saying that you have obsessive thinking coming from your inner critic. saying I should have done better, how I failed, I should have made it perfect, and on it goes. I feel guilty if I don't do the things perfectly. Do you have a lot of these? So everyday life is full of guilt because I'm not perfect. Yeah. Even when driving the car, I keep bashing myself that I could have done it better, I should have done it better. Now, you can use EFT when you need it, if you think it helps. We'll go even further. I'll invite you to tune into your element. There you are. You're in your element. You're so good at this. It comes naturally to you. And everyone's enjoying it. The idea is to manage our emotions, and they're like the elements, like a hurricane. Yes, I am like two storms, one after the other. As we were tapping, I wasn't looking at the picture. Then at some point I looked around and I was tapping here. I saw the greenery, and then, even without saying anything, I saw the water start running and the pink bushes appearing. Let me show you. Here we are mostly in the red zone of stress. The color picture will soon disappear. All I want to say is that the stress is too much for you. I do realize that we are drawing the picture of our life. How much color and what colors are in it, it depends entirely on us. It would be really good if we pay attention to our emotions, because that makes us and our lives more colorful. Anie, I wish I had your problem trying to get rid of chocolate. I've been struggling all morning with some huge tarantulas in the show. Welcome to Irena. Hello, Irena Barton. You're an energy psychology consultant? Yes, I'm an EFT consultant. How many times do we have to tap on the points on the meridians? Well, until it's over. Yeah, but tell me, is there a certain number, for example, 10 times? There are certain rules that it's good to follow when tapping, but it is a technique, therefore you have to do it properly. I actually believe that a lot of people get disappointed from EFT tapping if they didn't get it the first time round, so it doesn't work. It is the other way around. Maybe it didn't work because they didn't do it properly. I'm aware that it looks quite strange. Yes, it does look strange indeed. People find it difficult to trust, especially who would believe that if you tap your face and something will change. And then you say tap until it's over and it will disappear. Especially if you have a phobia, no one can convince you that it is gone if you have been shaking up at the look of it. Usually on such seminars we see people starting to hold tarantulas or mice or rat, pets of course, or start cuddling snakes. But this is something you have to experience yourself in order to understand. Tell me, what makes EFT work? People have to be honest with themselves to admit that they have a problem or blockage. Yes, you have to focus on the problem. That's the key. And then you have to tune into the problem for a little while. Do you have to do it every day? How often? Maria, can I ask you a question, a personal one? I've been watching your show. You had invited one of my colleagues to do an EFT demonstration with you. I know a lot of people were interested. So my question is, have you made EFT part of your life? No, I admit no. Do you get any results? Well, it's difficult to say because I've done it only here in the studio during the show for a very short time. I haven't done it afterwards, but I believe that it is possible because of self-suggestion to achieve a lot of things. And I believe that if you have a phobia, no matter how much you self-suggest or self-hypnotize that you're not afraid of the rat or snake, it won't work. Okay, tell me how it works. EFT is a technique. What I've been showing is the basic recipe, which takes a minute or two to apply for one particular emotional problem. The key is how you are doing it. Are you going to tune into the problem? It really matters how you do it. It's not just a technique, there is an art in it. For example, you can play the violin. One can play like Paganini, while another one is making unpleasant sounds. EFT is really simple to try, and maybe they have heard some great things about EFT, but they didn't get the same results, while everyone who resolved a problem with EFT like me keeps praising it. Okay, what did you resolve? How did you start? Honestly, at the beginning I was a skeptic. I'm an economist, coming from a family of economists. I'm married to a banker, so we are very rational, straightforward people. So, at the beginning I was a skeptic, which is normal. How could you believe that this strange-looking tapping thing can make any difference unless you try it for a moment and find out yourself? Notice what happens, resolve the problem with it. Otherwise, you are not going to believe, especially when it looks too good to be true. Tell me what we are looking at. What are these charts? Do you read these charts? Oh no, these charts are more a visual demonstration of what happens inside of you if you bring yourself to harmony. It's a visualization of what happens inside your body during EFT. Yes, people would like to live better, feel better, would like to have more balance, not to be stressed out. But life, however, is difficult, does not allow us. Here, for example, is a person who has lived in stress for a long period of time. He's now taking beta blockers, and you can see that his heart rate variability is regulated by the medication, but the stress has left a deep mark. In other words, the underlying cause is not removed. No, just suppressed. Are these special sensors that you're using, or you're just checking the pulse? I'm checking the pulse only, but the pulse is measuring the heart rate variability, which is the basis of biofeedback, and biofeedback is the basis of the lie detector. Oh yes, of course. In traditional Chinese medicine, they check the pulse and can diagnose diseases. Perhaps, but I am a Western person, very practical. I'd like to hear the scientific explanation for the meridian tapping. Okay, I notice that something is changing while I'm tapping. When did you notice that something has changed? The very first time. I was stunned. I knew I must learn more about this. What did you start working on initially? Stress? At the time I was still working at the bank. All bank officers suffer from severe stress, I know. I felt stressed, but I didn't know how to deal with it. And like anything you invest in, it paid off beautifully. It inspired me, and I decided to leave my banking career. And in front of you there was this new world. Yes. What about your husband? Wasn't he asking, Irene, are you going nuts? My husband, the banker, came with me to study it. We were so impressed. He's British. At home we watched the DVDs of Gary Craig, the creator of the technique. They were so much more intriguing than the TV news, which are so depressive. On these videos we watched how people with phobias went to stroke rats and to hold snakes or tarantulas. Once you see these from people who are American psychologists, therapists, scientists, you're impressed. Gary Craig is a financist with an engineering diploma, and he was speaking our language, the language of the rational mind, the logic, and that helped us to trust and accept EFT. Because I wanted to understand it, to know what the scientific explanation of EFT is. Yes, I would like to share this explanation. I always do it in my YouTube videos. Tapping has been discovered by using PET scanners and magnetic resonance imaging that it calms down the response in the amygdala and the hippocampus. These are the parts of the brain responsible for our fight or flight response. The stimulation of the acupoints reduces our primitive response for fight or flight. If our body feels threatened in some way or another, no matter whether you're sitting on the white couch or you're physically threatened, your body will respond with increased adrenaline, increased blood sugar, preparing more energy supply for the fight or flight. The blood pressure will increase to pump up more blood, your pulse starts racing. Stress has measurable biomarkers of what happens in the body. I can't measure these biomarkers, but I can measure the heart rate with a sensor. Are you saying that just the perception of something threatening can make you feel the stress all the time? This is our primitive brain. So, what other points do we have to tap? All the points on the head and upper body. There are so many videos on YouTube. Yes, and there is a point here too. I'm just guessing. Oh, Irena, why didn't you come earlier in the studio? I would love to come here anytime you invite me. It was most intriguing indeed. You look like a person truly inspired by EFT, and it's obvious that you have experienced all that yourself. Yes, indeed. There are a few of us in Bulgaria, and we have been discussing how to introduce some professional standards and guarantee EFT can really help when applied properly. It's a very gentle method, and it has a rational explanation. Thank you so much. Thanks.